What was it that I told you I was going to do in this week's video? God, I mentioned it. Oh yeah, we're going to do what's in the bag for 2024. That's a pretty good way to start this off. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Golf Test Dummy, the channel where I use my game to help your game. As I said last week, I promised you this video. This is going to be what's in the bag 2024. A little bit of a spoiler alert. I don't have a ton of stuff in my bag. I'm not one of these people who just has everything jammed in there like a ham sandwich from 1998 or a bear claw that's half eaten. I'm pretty much a minimalist when it comes to golf. I don't use a lot of head covers. I'm going to use iron covers and take those off and put those on after every shot. When you see these what's in the bag videos, you see them pulling out chapsticks and bug spray and sunscreen and rain gear. And here's a separate bag for my shoes to keep my shoes protected. Listen, I'm not buying $250 golf shoes, okay? First of all, so I don't need a separate bag for my shoes. When I take my shoes off, you know where they go? I fling them into the trunk on top of the bag. I don't have rain gear. If it's gonna rain, it's gonna rain. If a storm's gonna come up in the summertime, it's probably gonna pass. I'm gonna hide out underneath a tree unless there's lightning, wait for it to pass. If I get a little wet, it's no big deal. I'm not gonna die. I'll just be a little wet. I don't have an umbrella because if it's gonna rain enough for me to have an umbrella, I'm probably not going out to play golf. I've got a little bag that I've had for several years that a friend gave me, and it's just this little drawstring bag. You wanna guess what's in this bag? Well, it's gonna be tees. It's going to be golf balls. These are the essentials, folks. These are the things you need to play golf. You need tees. Well, you don't even really have to have tees, but you need golf balls. You're going to need those unless you want to play with hockey pucks. Your clubs, and you're going to need a bag to keep those clubs in. You don't have to have golf shoes. You don't have to have rain gear. You don't have to have a half a bottle of water from 2007 from the Limp Bizkit concert that you went to. You don't have to have all this stuff in your bag. So I've got golf balls and tees in that bag. I've got my laser rangefinder. I've got a golf towel, a little golf test dummy waffle terry cloth towel. I'll straighten that out, so branding. What I do have in this bag has been cultivated and built for this year, for me. One thing that I want to do with this what's in the bag is try to tell you some stuff that may help you. For everybody else's what's in the bag, it's all about, well, this is why I picked this. It works for me. I like this. Here's this shaft. I did this. I'm going to try and use this as a moment to be able to share some things with you that may help you build your bag. We're going to start out with something that did not change. All right, this is my putter. It's the Ping Sigma 2 Valor. Somebody laser etched my logo and name and stuff on there. I tried this out at Golf Galaxy. It is a 39, I believe, inch putter. It's got a longer putter grip than usual. I still grip it like a regular putter down here, and I leave a couple inches of grip hanging out, and it's got a counterbalance in it because I like to let the putter release. I don't hold it like that. I let the putter swing and release as I deliver the club into the ball. And the reason I chose this putter is because the mallet style and the way that it's face balanced. You see how if I just hold my hand underneath it, the club face just points straight up in the air? It's face balanced. If you get this putter and you put it behind the ball and you square it up, and you can just make one-handed putts with your right hand or your left hand, and you just let it pendulum back and forth, it wants to track the line. You don't have to apply a lot of technique to it. You don't have to think about a lot of mechanics. So you can really just get this putter lined up, and then you pull it back a certain distance and you just let it go. And then it kind of tracks. That is what I like about this putter. If that putter doesn't stay in my bag, the only thing I would do at this point to replace that putter is if all of a sudden I was getting Rick Shields views and I could afford a Mez 1 Lab putter. I've played around with that putter, the Mez 1 Lab putter. You've seen the average golfer and other YouTubers put videos out about the Mez putter. I've tried it, and I can tell you, it was magical for me. Maybe not for everybody. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's incredible. And it's the only putter that I feel like would actually give me an extra stroke or maybe two off of my scores if I put it in the bag. Now, something else that's not going to change are my two, well, they don't match my iron set, but my two wedges that I've had now for, I think I've had these for about 2 years. These are the first gen Cleveland CBX wedges. I've got 54 and 60. You can see the bounce right there in the white next to the black loft numbers. Steel shafts, love these wedges. I've had blade style wedges. I've had forged wedges before. And nothing wrong with any of them. I could go back to playing those and be just fine. But something about these, I think it may be Cleveland and Srixon do this sort of V grind on the bottom of not only their wedges, but their irons. And I just find that that's super versatile, especially around the greens and trying to play different shots and with different turf conditions, right? So if you've got spongy, soft, wet turf that you're hitting your wedge out of, it's going to react completely different than if you have a really tight fairway that's really dry that you're pitching off of. You know, you use the bounce on the wedge, and that helps it either stay above the surface or it helps it to dig in a little more depending on the grind and the bounce and all that. It takes care of your loft and where your center of gravity and where your leading edge of your club is, and whether you can open it or close it, hood it, whatever you're going to do, hands ahead, release the club, no matter what. And I just find that these are super versatile, so I don't have to worry. You know, pros will switch out their wedges depending on where they're playing and what the conditions are at that particular course. With these, I find that they're kind of ATVs. They really are good for just about any turf that I play on in just about any conditions. They're staying in the bag. All right, I'm going to pull out two clubs here. This is my new set of irons, okay? I've got from 5 iron all the way down to approach wedge in the Tommy Armour 845 Max 2021 edition. Now, you heard me talk about the Tommy Armour 845 2019 edition that I had a couple of years ago. Love those irons. They were in steel shafts, regular flex. The biggest difference, and there's two really big differences, I should say, between those and these. One is that these are an undercut cavity. I don't know if you can see in there or not. They got a little insert. It's an undercut cavity in both of these, which is a much more familiar thing over the course of the last several decades, having a cavity back iron. But the 2019 Tommy Armour 845s that I had were actually a hollow body construction. So that's one big difference. But the other big difference, and I learned this from talking to the guy who was fitting me for these irons. The 2019 Tommy Armour 845s, the 7 iron was 27 degrees. Now, if you don't know a lot about lofts and things like that in a lot of club sets, you don't really get into the nerd stuff. 27 degrees for a 7 iron is pretty strong lofted. These are 31 degrees in the 7 iron. So that's 4 degrees back on the weak side of it. And I just thought, I wondered why they went back and did that. And after hitting these irons, I realized that it wasn't a matter of, hey, let's just take it to some arbitrary number. They were really trying to combine helping you get the ball in the air with the tech that's in these and the lower center of gravity. Now, I've got the new golf, well, they're not new, but they're new to me, the Golf Pride CPX Jumbo grips. It's like this multi-compound kind of material. Part of it's tour velvet, part of it's quilted Maserati seats. All I know is these are super durable grips. They're super comfortable. The only thing I would say about these is that if you care about what your grips look like, that light gray color, it's going to get dirt. It's going to get dark black from your bag. It's going to get dust and blood and probably snot and things like that on it that's going to discolor this gray. And they don't come in black. But that doesn't matter to me. I really don't care. I'm not a snob when it comes to that. I love these grips though, and I added a 1/2 inch to all these clubs. All right, before we get into the top half of the bag, I wanted to tell you the ball that I'm playing, because you do have to have golf balls. I'm playing the MaxFly Tour, what used to be the MaxFly Tour CG. They also have the MaxFly Tour X in this golf ball, which I believe is a black box. They have changed some packaging. This is a 3-piece urethane golf ball, whereas the Tour X is a 4-piece. I've tried both. And honestly, the 3-piece just works better for me. I had to do something this past year before 2024 came along. I had to come to terms with reality. Reality is this: if you don't have a fairly fast swing speed with the clubs in your bag, driver or all the way down, if you're not swinging it that fast, or you're getting older and you're starting to lose a little bit of that edge, it's time to start taking some of these longer irons, the 3, 4, 5, maybe even the 6 iron, out of your bag and putting hybrids in your bag. Why? Different kinds of turf, lower center of gravity to be able to help you get the ball up in the air. So comparable to a 5 iron, if you have a 5 hybrid, if they were the same loft and went about the same length, you'd probably get more pound for pound out of the 5 hybrid. Got used Ping G410s in the bag. Now, these are, how do I put it? They're like cheat sticks. These are almost like cheating. I don't know what Ping has done with a lot of their hybrids. I don't know the tech that's in these. But it's just unreal how you can make a bad swing or have not so great contact and still end up with not a perfect result, but still it's like, it's not that bad. I mean, it blows my mind. Now, these do have the stock graphite Alta shafts in them. And again, I need to get these grips changed out to match the new CPX grips that I have. These are adjustable. You can find them relatively cheap. I think I found these used in decent condition for around $90 a piece here in the US this year. They are adjustable. The 5 comes stock at 26 degrees and the 4 comes stock at 22. These are fantastic. The Ping G400s, the 410s, the 425s, the 430s, they're all great. It doesn't matter which one you get. They're all great. They're all going to help you out. Another little thing I would say is that if you do have stronger lofted irons, if you have a 27 degree 7 iron, the 6 iron may be kind of the tipping point where you get the law of diminishing returns applying to your irons, meaning that if you hit your 27 degree 7 iron 160 yards, you're probably going to hit that 6 iron about 160 to 165 yards if your launch angle is not good enough because you don't have the swing speed to get it up. So depending on where your swing speed is, you may notice that those balls are really not flying that extra 10, 12 yards and having proper gapping, especially when you get into the 5 iron and 4 iron. So look at changing those out for hybrids. They'll help you out if you have slower swing speeds or if you have issues with getting the ball airborne. Now, I go from the 5 hybrid and the 4 hybrid to the 3 hybrid, and I make a change here. And I think the reason I made a change is because I don't know if this is logic, okay? But just hear me out. I've got this thing going on with the Tommy Armour brand. I don't know what it is. The 845s from 2019, the 845 Max from 2021. I don't know what it is. There's just something about this Tommy Armour brand that is just, it's tying into my DNA. It just works for me. It just does. And I had the Tommy Armour 845 3 hybrid, and I thought, you know what? Let's upgrade. Let's go to the newer version. The Tommy Armour 845 Max, again, came out in 2021. This is the 3 hybrid, 19 degrees, non-adjustable, stock Mitsubishi Tensai shaft, flex regular 75 hybrid with the CPX grip on it. And I gotta tell you, I am loving this 3 hybrid. I think I like it better than the 3 hybrid in the standard 845 that I had. I think it's actually, the head has a little bit more weight in it. I think it's got a little bit better sound. I think the trajectory is up a little bit. It was kind of like with the 3 hybrid, I'd have some that kind of came out a little lower, but with this 3 hybrid, they really do kind of take off, and I get a lot of forgiveness out of it, and I love it. This club for me right now is traveling probably total somewhere in the neighborhood of 210 to 220 on average. It's just fantastic. I don't have a 3-wood in the bag. I just go straight to driver. Now this driver, I'm not really going straight to driver, even though this is my driver. This is the TaylorMade 300 mini driver. I bought it used. Actually, I didn't buy it used. A friend of mine bought it used and gave it to me as a Christmas gift, and I sent him a Christmas gift as well. But he had one of these, and we talked about it for months and months. He bought this for me, used from Second Swing. It is adjustable. Now there are two different lofts that come stock in the 300, and now they've got the burner out as well. But this one's the 11.5. You can get it in a 13.5 as well, but they adjust up and down 2 degrees. I like it here at the stock setting. I tried the 13.5. I tried taking it down. I tried all that different stuff to see what was what, and honestly, this 11.5 works really well for me. This does have a 65S 3.5 Mitsubishi Chemical tailor-made MIDR dialed shaft. I've never heard of that shaft. Maybe it's proprietary to this, but this has got a 44-inch shaft, and I do need to replace the grip. This is kind of just a, I don't know, I think a school child must have had this grip on here, so I need to get a bigger grip. But I absolutely love this club. I had mixed feelings about this club. I did not pull the trigger on buying one for myself, which is why my friend bought it for me for Christmas. But the reason that I had so many issues with it is because a lot of the videos I'd seen a lot of videos, Rick Shields, Peter Fitch, Mark Crossfield, Average Golfer, tons of people doing videos on this, and it was really kind of mixed reviews. Some people were like, oh yeah, this is great. James Robinson loved it. And then Alex Etches loved it. But then like Rick Shields was like, who's this for? And I kind of agreed with Rick on that. I kind of thought, well, who is this for? Really? I mean, it's got a little bit smaller head and a little bit shallower face than a driver. Most 3-woods are a shallower face. This is deeper. It's a smaller head. It's only 300 something cc's. And it's got a shorter shaft. And I'm like, this seems like a driver that's just going to go shorter. Why not just play a 3-wood? But I got to tell you, in a short time, something magical has happened with this driver to the point that I got rid of my regular driver and now I'm just gaming this. Let me explain. For the last few years, I have had this brick wall that I've been running my head into, and that brick wall is trying to get a respectable distance with my driver. It just really bothered me that my driver, no matter what I tried cutting a little bit of length off, I tried different makes, I tried different shafts, I tried different techniques, I tried different golf balls, I tried hitting it high, I tried hitting it low, and no matter what happened, I always came up about 20 to 30 yards short of where I thought I should be with my driver. And I'm going off of real numbers. The Golf Pad app on my phone on course, measured against my simulator here, measured against high price, high dollar simulators. I did get to a point to where I was like, okay, maybe I can accept this. And that was with my last driver before this one, which was the Callaway Rogue ST Triple Diamond LS with an extra stiff shaft and a 45.5-inch length on that shaft. I did pretty well with that. On a good day, I knew that when I was having a good day, I was able to get a few of my ball speeds up to 140, 141 miles an hour. That was a good day. A bad day, I would be down around 135, 137. Again, I didn't quite understand what was going on. So some of the change with this is not just the equipment, but it's the technique. But the technique changed because of the equipment. I'll try and explain it. I don't want to get too long-winded with this. But with this club, I've been playing with this club for almost a month now. My ball speed is average about 140. I get it up to 143, 144 fairly regular. And on my bad days, it's down around 137, 138. My carry is up to about 240 to 245 yards on average. And it is nothing for me to come out here and hit 250 to 260 yard drives total distance. It doesn't happen every time, but it happens pretty damn often. That is a leap of somewhere around 25 yards in distance. And I've done that with a shaft that is 1.5 inches shorter, down to a 44 from a 45.5, an extra degree of loft, sometimes 2, depending on what setup I was using over the last several years, and a smaller hit. It should not be happening. This should not be producing faster ball speeds. Now, some of it is because you're finding the middle of the face more often. That's the benefit of having a shorter shaft. A lot of people are starting to discover that. But some of it is because just this club and trying to find good solid contact with it trained me to hit better, more efficient, more powerful drives over the course of the last several weeks. It has almost been a training aid. It's almost been a training aid to help me find better drives. And now I finally have a driver in my bag where if I need 250 or 260, I know I got it. Now, that's not far by today's standards. 250, 260, that's not far by today's standards, especially since people are hitting it longer and these young kids and everything get out there and it's nothing for 340 to come off of their drivers. I get it. But if you're comparing it relative to your experience and where you were, to gain 25, almost 35 or 30 yards total distance with a driver that's not supposed to be nearly as powerful as a real driver, there's something magical about that. I can't even tell you how thrilled I am now with that club and the bag as a whole. This bag is built for an average amateur golfer. You've got a forgiving driver that actually helps real golfers. You've got 3 hybrids in the bag, not just 1 or 2. You got 3 hybrids in the bag to help people with slower swing speeds, a wider sole plate on the bottom to help with contact on all kinds of different turfs and to be more forgiving and to help you get the ball up in the air and get more carry out of it and hit the ball straighter. You've got a set of irons here that is a nice middle-of-the-road set of irons. The sole on the clubs is just a little bit wider, but it's not obnoxious like a full game improvement club. They help you get the ball in the air. They're super forgiving. They're really cheap. They only cost $399 for a new set of irons. You got 2 wedges in there that are just spectacular. The CBX wedges, any of them, the CBX2, the CBX, the RTX Core, whatever. Cleveland just makes some awesome wedges, and that putter that just tracks itself. This bag, while it's not what you would call the super game improvement bag, this bag would help the fat part of the golfing population, the meat, right in the middle. Those 10 to 25 handicaps, even those single-digit handicaps, this bag is for them. And really, that's who golfers are. If you look at the millions of golfers that are out there, the vast majority of us fit into that upper single-digit handicap to a 25 handicap, right in that range. That's where we fit in. And this bag is for that. This bag is not a Tour Pro's bag. Stop building your bags like a Tour Pro. And on top of that, stop carrying around bear claws from 1948. Sunday Golf that's going to be releasing a really cool bag around springtime. I'm going to be showing you that bag when I get it. I can't wait to get it. They've told me about it. I don't even know a lot about it, but it's coming. It's going to be spectacular. As of right now, I still have the code down below for Sunday Golf. Go there, use my code, save yourself some money. I've seen a lot of people buying golf bags using that code. Sunday Golf, fantastic, fantastic golf bags. Go check them out. They're spectacular. Also, if you do wear gloves, Bionic gloves, code down below. Go use that, save yourself some money. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please leave me a thumbs up down below. It'll help the channel tremendously. If you've watched to this point, you're a fan of the channel, click the thumbs up. Please take that extra second to do that. Leave me some comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell off to the right. Select all notifications so that when I put out a new video, you get notified. Thanks for watching. That's my What's in the Bag. More content coming this year. See you in the next video.